Every Day a Better You, a podcast that's not about being better than the person next to you, but being better than the version of yourself a day prior. Your host, Fareed Johnson, accompanied by my co-host, Henri.
Hello, everyone. This is Henri. A lot of people know me as Boo. Every Day a Better You.
Welcome back, everyone. We're on episode 8 of Every Day a Better You. I'm one of the hosts, Flip. If you don't know me by now, you must be doing something wrong. I'm letting my co-host introduce himself.
It's too early for this. We just started the show.
I'm saying, man, like, come on, bro. Tune in. That's it. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, people? This is Boo. Welcome to another episode of Every Day a Better You.
So you know what's great about this episode?
What?
We got our first guest today. Everyone, I want to introduce a dear friend of mine. His name is Mr. Brian Harrington. Please say hello.
What's up, guys? Listen, I appreciate you guys having me on. The first guest, that's an honor. Honor, especially with knowing Flip for as long as I've known him. So thank you for having me on. And this is just an awesome thing you guys are doing for sure.
Nah, I appreciate you. When we were talking about having our first guest, like you were one of the first people that came to mind. And I was like, I got to call him. But before we get into Mr. Harrington over here, we do have to talk about our gym from last week.
This is going to be a good one because
So-
we actually did it together.
Yeah. So what did we say? We said you need to go out and do something physical that makes you feel alive.
Right.
All right. So now you're looking at, like, people that know me know I like to dance. You know what I mean? So
Here we
I was
go.
like,
Here
let's
we
do
go.
let's do Zumba. You know what I mean? But little did I know. Boo, why don't you tell him?
I was busting it down. You didn't know. He didn't know I had those moves. He didn't know that. You didn't know that.
I've been out with Boo many times. I've never seen him bust not 1 2-step. But
Except for Zumba.
Zumba. And then he was
That's my
out
guilty
there.
pleasure.
Yo, his shoulders are usually like this.
Oh, here we
But they're a
go.
little relaxed. He he moving, he's grooving, you know what I mean? So shout out to you, bro. That was,
Let me ask you, was I busting it down or was I
bro,
not
you were
busting?
busting it down. We were both in the front. I was like, oh man, you sure you want to go in the front? Because this ain't really like your
No, I was in
thing.
the front. I was outside that day.
Bro, you were out of pocket. That's what you were, bro.
That is something.
Oh man, what do you do to make you feel alive?
You know what? You guys had asked me that before we started the show, and I was thinking about it. One thing, I love being outdoors, especially weather like this.
Yep.
Last weekend, I actually went upstate. A client of mine gave them their house, and I just went off for a hike up to like a waterfall. Just being outdoors, man. Just like trying to do something different than just going to the gym and doing the traditional gym workout. So,
Right.
You get outside, you get fresh air, you kind of moving around in that way. I think it's therapeutic, not even for your body, but for your mind.
I like it. So
We got to try that.
yeah, we do.
A hike.
Hike, man. Go
I've
somewhere.
hiked a couple of times, but
When?
Yo, what are you talking about? You know who what's that place in
Bear Mountain?
I've done Bear Mountain.
What's the big one? Anthony's Nose.
What's the
I feel like
Isn't
that's
that
not.
one?
what's that
Is that a
big,
real
like-
hiking place, Bear Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where Anthony's Nose is. That famous
Yeah, man.
rock, which everyone kind of goes
Why
up to.
can't I think
Yes,
of the
you're
name
right,
of the
you're right.
place?
The Roosevelt Estate, maybe?
It starts
No,
with
not
an M.
Roosevelt.
No, it's a hotel, mad expensive for no reason, but they're known for like their hiking and stuff. It's gonna come to me and I'm gonna like shout it out in the middle of us talking. But it's
Mohonk Mountain?
Yes,
There you go.
yes,
There
thank
go. It
you.
is on my
Mohonk.
mind. Mohonk
Mohonk.
Mountain.
Where's
It's
that?
nice up there, man.
Where is Mohonk? I don't know. In Mohonk.
Upstate. Either upstate or
He don't know.
Connecticut
He
or
was
something
there,
like that,
though.
right?
He was there, but he
It's a dope
Well,
place. I've been there. It's dope.
But
It's
I'm gonna
dope.
tell
It's
you,
dope.
I was mad at first when I went there because it was my birthday weekend
Yeah.
years ago, and Rachel's brother was getting married, and he got married
There.
MO?
there.
That's nice.
My birthday is October 5th.
Yeah.
He got married
I
on
know
October
that. I know you
6th.
put
And I was like, you know me back then,
Selfish,
like
very selfish.
birthday weekend. Yeah,
You want to do what you want to
for
do.
my birthday weekend, no one can tell me nothing. And now here I am going to a wedding, got to prepare my daughter to be a flower girl and stuff like that at this wedding on my
mean-
birthday weekend.
But look how it
I
turned
mean,
around.
it's a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a party.
And I got to stay at
Mohonk's
Mohonk
dope.
is-
Look how it turned around.
Mohonk is
Did you
crazy.
enjoy it?
I broke my phone.
Oh, it fell.
I had a life-proof case that was supposed to be waterproof and went in the pool with it, tried to take an underwater picture.
Oh, no.
Why you want to take an
See,
underwater picture?
Cause, bro, I like doing crazy, underwater, seeing the effects.
Thanks.
All right. My man, Brian Harrington. Okay. So I've known Brian since high school. He was a freshman. I was a sophomore when I came to Hastings. He was a freshman. Brian was a killer on the basketball court, just like would annihilate you, right? Brian played college basketball, but Brian's here not because of that. Brian's here because the true meaning of grit, perseverance, working through anything and everything, any obstacle. Brian has one of the number one gyms in Westchester County.
Sure does.
And that started from way back when. But I want my man Brian to tell his story. And I'll start you off with this question. When did you realize that opening up a gym was something feasible or even something that you wanted to do?
That's a great question. So feasible, I'm not too sure of, but what I wanted to do is probably back after college, went back to school, became a phys ed teacher, and I thought what a good career to be kind of coincide with that would be a personal trainer. And as I got into the industry of personal training, which I was just so wet behind the ears, I didn't know much. And you get a lot of trainers that come out thinking they know everything, so they like to work out. But I like to dive deeper into like what is the actual science of working out, what are we doing and why are we doing it. So when I got into the field and started to learn more, I started to say, it would be cool to have actually my own spot. As an ex-athlete, I thought it was a way to like kind of give back to athletes. I didn't want to go the coaching route. I didn't want to really stay in hoops because I thought that was just, for me, a little too generalized. It was one way. It was one sport, right? So I started just training at a local gym. And the more I got experience with different type of clientele, whether it be, a working mom, whether it be a CEO, whether it be a young athlete, kind of having the experience with each of those kind of people and understanding how to approach each scenario, I thought it'd be a cool situation to say, you know what, this is where I can give back to athletes. This is where I can give back to just anyone in the population. I remember as an athlete, we didn't know anything about, all we did was play ball, and going to the weight room, especially as a basketball player, was like kind of like a taboo thing. You didn't really know what to do in there.
I skipped it all the
right,
time.
you didn't know how to work out and nothing like that. But watching as sports and the games developed, you realize that like, man, if I had this kind of stuff, I probably could have achieved more. So my thought process there on the athletic side was like, let me help these kids reach their full potential, not just be on the basketball court or on the cross field or whatever it may be, but if we can get them full circle in the weight room, because once they get to college and they want to play college sports and have aspirations there, they're going to be in the weight room all the time, and they're going to have they're going to be in for it because they're not going to know what to do. So let's start to introduce those kind of concepts. All the while, you have to continue to work with adult population because, truthfully, that's where your bread and butter is. People want to be healthy, they want to be fit. So I took a chance breaking away from the local gym I was training at and just opened a small studio with a partner. It was going pretty well, but it was a constricted space. It was like it's like a needle in a haystack with a million different 1,400 square foot facilities, that storefront things. That how do you differentiate yourself from one thing to another? I think as an athlete and as a competitive athlete my whole life, like the desire to not just be one of those people, but stand out from that and give more and understand more was what drove me to be like, I have to get a facility where I can offer programming. Luckily enough, fortunately enough, I found a spot like a mile away from my studio. So like my clientele didn't have to like leave really and go far. But as I'm developing the facility, and I'm sorry if I'm talking too much to this question.
No, absolutely not.
But as I'm developing this facility, I'm saying to myself, it's got to be a team. Like I'm thinking in my head, like I'm a team sport person. It takes a team to build something great. It takes a team to win a chip. If I had to relate it back to my sports days in high school, I came into a private school, and we talked about this a little earlier, but we all came in as sophomores, and we all were kind of figuring ourselves out. And by seniors, we came together as this team, and everybody was important on that team in order to win the chip, which we ultimately did. So I'm saying to myself, I have to have a team. It can't just be me or my rep. It's got to be like a Voltron situation where everybody comes together and forms this great thing. So that's once I opened the facility, the bigger facility, and I started implementing different programming in the facility, adult, group fitness, individual training, athletic performance training. Now, how am I going to put these pieces together? And those pieces took a long time. People come and go. You try to fill spots. You don't know. And this industry is the turnover rate is so crazy. But I know what I want. And as time goes by, I get more experience. Reputation gets larger. The athletes you attract become, bigger, grander athletes that put your name out there more. You do great work with adult population. They refer people over. Power of social media, things like that. So I was able to then, people were kind of attracted to me, wanting to work with me because of that. And then I'm able to seed through that to see who fits what. And now I'm fortunate enough to have this 5,000 square foot facility that has incredible amount of people that I was telling you guys earlier that like today even we're outsourced in 5 different places, not only in the facility, but we're at schools, camps, all over the place on any given day. So it's a blessing. It was a long road to get there, and there's ups and downs we could talk about here through that. Yeah. But that's kind of where led me to where I am now. That's probably 15 years.
Wow. So let me ask you this: as far as the financing, was it hard when you found the place to actually get the money together? I'm pretty sure you're leasing, or do you own the building, or how does that work?
So, man, if I had to go back for the studio, it was like, okay, do I want to, as a young person, newly married, do I want to? How do I finance this? You don't have much money in your pocket. You're going to lease the space. The space wasn't that expensive. Then you got to get equipment. Yeah. And by the way, that's a great question because everybody wants to own their own gym. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's, I'm going to open my own gym.
They think they do.
Trainers will have come and gone and say, I'm going to open my own spot. Great, go ahead. Being a trainer and servicing people and then running a business are two completely different things. Yeah. So I thought it was best for me to take on partners because then it will split my expense, lower my risk, and you'll have somebody to work with you as you grow. Finding the right partners are extraordinarily difficult. So I've been through a few partners, and those are stories within itself, but ultimately has led me to this particular partner that I'm at, which really has been the best, and we've been able to just erupt this thing like a volcano. So, but that you got to go through things like that. So I thought, so you start out with a space you can kind of manage. Yeah, you're pulling some money out of your pocket, unless you're getting an investor. But an investor is not going to come to you until you have a reputation.
Exactly.
Until you do things well. I'm at the point where I could probably solicit some more, investors if I want to open like a mega facility. But those things kind of go in steps. They come in steps. So, and then as you're making your money, your income, your value grows, and so on and so forth.
So you were one of the first people now, because I remember seeing you in that New York Sports Club. What's that, 17 years ago or something like that?
Something like that, man.
And you looked very different from what you looked like when you were in high school. When did you fall in love with the process of like really taking care of your body?
I think that like in college, when I played in college, and then ultimately,
and where did you play?
I played at Ursinus College in PA. So, like I said, our era, we didn't like hit the weight room. Even my college team, we weren't seeing a strength coach. It was come to think about it now, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, when that ended for me, because I didn't finish playing all 4 years, when that ended for me, I needed something, and honestly, truthfully, my father always had our garage set up like a little weight room, and he was always big on. He was always working out himself, and he was always big on showing us something that would last you for your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So, as an athlete who's always busy, not only did I play basketball, obviously, but I also played football. I also played baseball. So it was like, what am I doing now, kind of thing. I just got into the fact of, okay, you're in your 20s. Of course, you want to look good. Let's start lifting weights and moving in that direction. I got pretty heavy into that, and I think that just at first you're like, okay, I want to look good. I want to just lift heavy, and all these kind of young kids that are in the gym, right? And then you start understanding how you're going to take care of your body and how you're going to like help people improve their body, improve their overall like life, not just like looking good. Because I never was into like training aesthetics. I'm more into training for function, for functionality, for sports, for everyday life. So I dove deeper into the sciences of those. Because even when the hoops court or whatever, it's always like the why. Why am I doing this? What's the purpose of this? So why am I? What's the best way to go about this? What's the best modality to teach people? What's the whole science behind the body? That started just to resonate in my mind, to my brain, and I just dug deeper and deeper into that.
So now, what do you think is the easiest population to work with? Us, athletes, or the regular civilians who are just trying to
I
maintain
think that
a style of life.
It's crazy. Like my clientele, if you follow me at all, like my clientele is all over the map. So if you look at my social media, you're gonna see like these mega athletes, these kids that are like, whether it be like Olympic gold medalists, literally like third pick in the WNBA draft, who just was in the All-Star game, you know, the highest level college basketball players that are out there getting paid astronomical money, you know, and I got these kids coming from all over New York. They're traveling from Brooklyn to Queens, Bronx, everything like that. They're awesome to work with, and you see that on my social because it's very marketable. But I also work with like grassroots kids that are just like your everyday athlete that come through and they just want to improve their game and get the guts out of high school, maybe play to a college level. And then I work with celebrities. You know what I mean? I have some celebrity clients that I work with every day that are awesome to work with. Then I have their everyday, you know, man or woman who's working, wants to maintain their body as well. So I think having all of them, you know, is I like every one of it because it gives me variety. I think if I specialize in just one thing, it would kind of get
get bored.
Yeah, it get too routine. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had my 3 highest level athletes and said, "Yo, you're just gonna pay you forever," and that's it, I would say fine, probably fine. All right, but that's cool. But you know, as long as they're willing to work. Sometimes you get some people that come in, maybe the kids who like parents like make them kind of come in, and they're like, all right, they don't really want to be here, kind of thing. That kind of, or I'm going to see you once a week, or maybe I'll see you once every other week. I'm like, what's the point of even doing this? You're coming to me because you know my reputation. So let's just not do this, or let me give you one of my trainers just to get some extra work in their book. But like for me, particularly at this point in my career, I'm like, if you're not working with me 2 to 3 times a week, then I'm not seeing you at all. And I can do that at this point, and I'll just give the other ones to my staff. But to answer the question again, just to have like all those kind of people, I think as long as they're willing to put in the work is fun. It's all a different project. It's all different kind of like vision. Like, you know, it's all different painting on the wall with each one.
What would you say is one of your biggest success stories dealing with a client? Because like you said, you have people from all walks of life. And I'm not talking about, because I know some of the people that you've trained that are famous. But you have some regular Joe Schmo coming in. Like, what's your biggest? I guess it could be one of them too. Like, what's your biggest success story? Because your gym is Transform Fitness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your biggest transformation?
I mean, I think that if you spoke about an athlete, I can say, okay, I work with, you know, Sam Coffey from the USA Girls National Soccer Team who won a gold medal, and I worked with her since, God, I can't even remember anymore. I mean, I talked to her the other day, probably 8th grade to now, to currently when she's around. So to see her just become this like world-class, incredible gold medal athlete is it's crazy because I just know her as Sam and she's around my family and kids and whatever, you know, or Sonia Citron, who is the same thing, 8th grade kid who's now the 3rd pick in the WNBA draft, who's competing in the 3-point contest, who's in the All-Star game, or Boogie Flan, who came to me as a skinny 8th grader going into 9th grade, and now this kid is a phenom, or Ian Jackson, or Chopper Moore, or you know, having a chance to work with R.J. Davis, and you know, those kind of guys, or some NBA players. I've gone through probably a dozen NFL guys. I think watching the journey has been probably like the most fun for them. If I'm talking about an everyday like person, I mean, I have people who have one of my closest clients that I love to death has Parkinson's. So just getting him to be functional every day and try to do our best to fight that, you know, that neurodegenerative disease and just try to slow that thing down the best we can for him is also like a massive, I'll go home feeling just as good about that than I will about Sam's gold medal.
What do you think attracts all of these people to Transform Fitness? Like, it's word of mouth, it's your marketing. Like what? Because like I said, I've been watching you for a long time. You were one of the first people making those instructional videos. I remember you throwing all of those things out. Like, I remember all of it. You're only getting like 1 or 2 likes and you didn't care. Grinding. What attracted all of these people?
You know, it's funny. I got to get you guys in the spot one day because it's
a
like
combination of things.
If you came into my spot, like to your point, at like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, a summer day, you will have adult group class that has all these different walks of life from different socioeconomic backgrounds taking this class, grooving together, right? Then you have 10 athletes doing individual programming going on from all different areas, right? Then you'll have my boy Jadakiss's crew in there doing their thing, right? then you'll have maybe my client, Hoda Kotb, who's a famous newscaster, like uber famous person.
Hoda comes there?
I work with Hoda 4 to 5 days a week. Is my girl.
Oh, man.
So you have this all going on. And it's funny because I bring her up because she'll be like, this play, look at this. Look what's going on here. Look how crazy, like awesome this is. Of all these different things going on, it all works, right? So, I mean, I don't even know the question you asked me anymore, to be honest with you. But like,
It's just about the attraction.
what attracts? I think it's just like it's such a vibe, and I always credit my team. Like my team is so good at what we do, and they're so welcoming to all these people that come in, and they make every single individual feel like they got it. They should be there. And then my front desk manager, she's great with everybody. It just takes this whole team effort, and it's like. It's not like somebody's looking over at you like, what are they doing here? It's more like that's the culture that was built. So you can have that athlete in there who's, telling the mom, like, let's go, like, get that up kind of thing, and vice versa or whatever it may be. So it's the culture you create. It's just like a sports team. You create a culture, a winning culture that's nurturing. You're gonna get more guts out of it. If it's some sort of negativity that's going on, and by the way, I've been there in my own facility with those things going on, and that's gone totally wrong. To rebuild it and put that kind of spin on it has made this thing take off the last 3-4 years, totally take off.
Now you talk about your team as far as training. Do you have anyone on the nutrition side, or is it just about the?
We definitely never come across or put a vibe out there of something that we are not. So like if people say we need nutritional counseling, we will say we are not certified nutritional counselors. We're not dietitians, none of that. Do we have 1 or 2 on staff that have more experience with that can do nutritional planning and things like that? Yes. But we really want to make sure we're transparent of like what we are. We are like a really smart, higher level thought process training facility with people who have multiple certifications, who dive into the science of what we do, our philosophy and our modality of what we work on is shared between the whole staff. So you're gonna get, what you're gonna get when you get there. And if somebody had to fill in for me for the day, my client wouldn't be like, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Like everyone knows each other so well that it's so easy to fill in for, hey, I'm out of this class, somebody hop in for me. Boom. No, we don't miss a beat. So it's we're very good at what we do, and we don't claim to be anything more than that.
Right.
Nice. So we talk about, family on the show and like inspirations, and I happen to know your family, right? So I want to give them a plug, and I want to allow you to talk to them about them for a little bit because, they were every game, right? Like just your biggest fan, but not only your biggest fan, but like your sister Denise was his sister was a killer.
Yeah, she was dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
She was the first 1,000-point scorer
Yeah.
for the girls ever
My man.
What school again?
in Hastings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like she had the ball, that was it. That's all you need to worry
Okay.
about. She was Hastings basketball for girls.
Okay.
So can you talk about a little bit about that, about how you were pushed? Because I know your father, he's out, you got to do these drills, you got to do these things, you're going to be with these kids, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that and what that was like growing up and how that kind of
I think that he always he'd always have this saying, and a lot of my friends remember it, whatever, is that potential is a funny word. Potential, you could live up to it, or it could be something that's detrimental, more or less, right? So it's up to you to live up to potential, whatever you have, right? I wouldn't say he was over the top and saying like, we're outside in the rain, you got to do these kind of things. It was more like, if you love it, let's do it, And one thing I have to say about him, that I think the biggest thing I took away in my adult life is that his ability to take care of not just us, but all the kids around him. So like, playing before I even met you, he was we played at Colts Club in Yonkers, and it was a boys and girls club, and he was a coach, and I remember as a kid like him like calling kids, reaching out, picking them up at their house when now things are a little bit crazy with those kind of things. But like back in the day, like, it was like I'll come get you if you need a ride. Like he was just always over the top for taking care of kids, especially kids that were a little less fortunate.
Yeah.
That's
us.
Yeah. And always, right. He's pretty much was like, you want to play ball? Here you go. You're going to go down School Street, Yonkers, and I'll drop you off and learn how to play, and I'll be back later. Yeah. And then 10 years later, from 8 to 18, that's where I played ball.
Right.
So
School Street,
It was do or die down there.
And there were no slouches down there. They could ball, one, and two, you talk about like top 3 roughest projects in Yonkers.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
so I'd be outside at 14 years old, white dude, standing outside the School Street
Only
Project
one.
at 10 o'clock, like waiting for him to pick me up. And dudes would just know me at that point.
Yeah.
Walk by, be, what's up, you
Absolutely.
good? Yep, yeah, all good. Like, I'll see you later, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it was. So I think his ability to put me in situations to expose me to a lot, and then how he took care of everybody was probably the biggest influence on how I try to like take care of my team. You know, I also worked with him like when I was a college kid. He was a union electrician, and they had a college summer help program. So I would come home, and all the boys would work in summer camps and all those dumb meaningless jobs.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're gonna get some tools, and you're gonna go do a summer work helper program." And I was like, first cursing him out, but you're gonna get paid a ton, da da da. And I was on the job with him running these big contracting jobs, and I saw how he took care of his guys, how he took care of his team. Reminded me of how he took care of the kids when we were younger. So I think that is one of the biggest things that I took away as an adult to like take care of how do I treat my team? How do I build this business with people? Because ultimately people is your business.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have your people behind you, then you got nothing.
Sooner or later, right?
You got nothing. I think I have a team that more or less would run through the wall for me. I could be wrong, but that's the way it comes across. So I think that's, again, why it's successful. I take no credit in it. They are the credit of why we are where we are.
Now,
That's awesome.
in training these days, I know you see everything is specialized, right? So you play this, so you got to do this, you play that. So as a trainer, just elaborate on how people are with that, and is it that serious?
Man, thank you for asking
Yes,
this. On the way up here, I'm talking to my best college friend, and he's diving into like the training space for youth girls. And he's doing it a great way. He's doing it a great way. He calls it Skilladelphia. He's down in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
And he's doing it for like young kids to have a safe place to have fun and learn. And I think that's great.
That's awesome.
If you ask me what I think, I'm going to tell you this. This is a weird comment to say on a live podcast, but I absolutely hate youth sports. And I hate it. And I hate it so much at this point that I sometimes I can't even believe I'm somehow in it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is... I could tell you guys for 3 more episodes the stories of stuff that I've gone through with parents and kids and just what they got to go through.
Yeah.
Like the whole travel sports programs are just completely and utterly out of control.
Money grabs.
It's money grabs galore. I tell kids all the time, when are you in your goal is to play college. So in college, you're going to play 5 games on a weekend?
Never.
So what are we doing that now for you?
Right.
For how does that make sense? Right. And then in terms of like hoops, we have a whole model overseas that we're looking at that, by the way, is developing player after player after player that is not even close to what we're doing over here. And you could look at every big pod. I just watched one with Paul George running a podcast with Isaiah Howard-Stein on it, talking about the difference. And it's like it's starting to come out more and more. But it's such a money grab that like how do you stop it, right? And how do you also know it's happening but say, well, I'm not going to get my kid involved, but then where are you going to get your kid involved? Because that seems to be the only thing, right? And back in the day when we played first of all, it wasn't even AAU basketball when we played.
No,
it was like 1 or 2
and I played for Riverside Hawks as well.
too,
So it was like either play for Riverside Gauchos in the city or
Yeah.
I played for, like I said, School Street Projects. But now everybody plays. Every single person plays AAU. Everyone's starting their own AAU team. Like it's just
so commercial.
And by the way, it's like that for travel lacrosse.
Yeah.
It's like that for travel
across the
soccer.
board, across
I mean,
the
it's
board.
like it's just so crazy. And then I see I think the statistic is like by 14, 75% of kids are completely burnt out. They don't even want to play anymore. So if you ask me, man, I think it's just totally broken. The only rationale I give myself is I am totally truthful with them when they come into the gym about it. So I'm totally transparent. I think it's out of control. And I'm hopefully giving them a skill that's not just even sports related, it's just everyday life. Like they could take fitness on forever and ever and ever. So because they're not going out to the parks anymore, they're not going on bike rides with their friends, their parks are empty. At least I'm giving them physical activity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's safe. That's also, by the way, training their bodies to keep up with the mileage that's getting absolutely destroyed on them throughout these weekends, these travel weekends, whatever it is. Sometimes parents are like, oh, they had a bunch of games, maybe they should rest. I'm like, listen, their body's breaking down, so I have to rebuild it in order to keep it going for these ridiculous weekends that you guys are having. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you're hearing about
but then
these
constantly
injuries too.
saying those stories to people, and then the stories they come back with, man, sometimes I just need a vacation from it all. It's out of control. It's way out of control. I don't know how to fix it. I'm super fortunate my personal kids are not in it at all.
Right.
And people might say, oh, you're just mad because you just because your kids don't like sports. No, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And then I think they get lost in like, who are they? They just think that they're like a lacrosse player. And then when it's not there anymore, it's like, I don't know what to do. Well, you never thought of doing anything else because you just were pushed to do that. Like, so what do you actually like?
See, and
what do you like?
We talked about me and Boo talk a lot, right? So we talk about, I have 3 daughters, and I want them. My oldest, she's in everything. She just picked up lacrosse. She's playing basketball. They're swimmers.
He's one of those parents. We just don't like one of those.
He's the guy.
She's a swimmer, but she's also into the arts. She does plays. She sings.
Oh, love
she draws. She wants to go to art school for college, right? So it's a balance. Right, you can't. We talked about this the other day, like that specialization. We see injuries on the rise.
Oh my God.
Because of it. It's just
and not only
overworking.
You got 10, 11-year-olds torn ACLs. What? Like,
By the way, by record-breaking numbers.
Yeah, like,
you know what I
what?
mean? And it's like, why? I have a girl comes in every week, and she's like a soccer player, and she's like, like this. She's young. She's like 7th, 8th grade. She's like, can we work on this because this is hurt today? Like, I'm like, and I won't say the names. Like, why do you think you're so young to be so hurt? Like, what's going on? But I think what you're doing, Flip, is right. Like, keep them well-rounded. Yeah. Like, my kids love acting. My son especially.
Nice.
Love it.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
the more I dove into watching him dive into this, the more I realized how much they learn from that. Like, there is so much that needs to happen on that stage for them to all pull this thing off. And by the way, they finish and they're all ear-to-ear smiles. I'm like, ultimately, that's all we want.
That's what it's about.
Because he ain't going to be a professional
It's true.
basketball player, so you might as well be really freaking happy. You know what I'm saying?
This? Most kids playing these sports aren't going to be professional.
Maybe 98% won't, you mean?
Right, like
you know
you
what I'm
said.
saying? Like that much percent?
These kids, all they know is lacrosse. You're okay at best anyway.
It's interesting because
Anyway.
my facility is the most atypical place because you get those 2% of kids by the dozens that
Right.
come to my facility. So it
Yes.
looks like every kid there is going to
Yes.
be pro. You have a kid on the Olympic team, WNBA, NBA, NFL
Yes.
players, top ranked, high school basketball players, college basketball players. So it looks like, man, everyone who comes here is going to be awesome.
It has that look, right?
I'm like, no. They come here because of the
different.
training,
Right, it's
but
different.
that's not
You
everywhere.
like the Calipari of trainers. Like,
Like-
you go to Brian, you going
Nah,
to the league.
You're not. You're not.
Right.
You're not
Don't even
doing
start
that.
right.
But it's like, you come into my place and there might be literally, I'm not even exaggerating, at one point you might run into 4 7-footers
Right.
that day. And it's like, where do you run into 4 7-foot kids in any facility training? Probably nowhere. And I'm not patting myself on my back. I'm saying what they
No.
think is like, oh, I'll end up being, I had a conversation with one kid one time and it was like, yo, I'm playing D1. I'm going to play D1, a 7th grade kid. I'm like, dude, these 2 twins who just walked in are playing Division I basketball. Like, you going to play against them?
Yeah. You can't
Like,
beat
let's
them.
put this in perspective. Like,
They have
calm
no idea.
down, bro. Like, calm down for a second. And that's got to come from somewhere, by the way.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So, just this narrow-mindedness of what
Yes.
else is out in the world is just is crazy. I mean, I had a kid come from France who's going to BYU, and he just like, yo, I got to get some working with you. Great. This kid is phenomenal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He came out of France, so it's like, where are you coming out of?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Wherever the Edgemont gonna give me with this kid. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
they have no idea.
And by the way, maybe you will be that one kid, maybe.
Right.
And I'm not here to step on your dream, but I'm just saying, like, let's look at the reality of what's
Exactly.
going on here. So just be happy. How about that?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing too. Their reality is so distorted. In our time, you had 5-star basketball camp.
Yeah.
Now that's the first camp you went to, and you there for
Humbles
a
you.
week, and you like, whoa,
Nah, humbles you.
he's in my grade? No, he's younger.
No,
And this wasn't no reclassing stuff.
trust me, I get
In
it.
those days, you didn't reclass until you were a post grad.
Yep.
By the way, you hit the nail on the head. Like the
It's none of that
post grad, the reclassing
Oh, don't
is
get me
so
started.
crazy. It's
get me started.
wild. Like I got kids that are done both, and they're like so old now. I'm like, bro, were you ever gonna get out of high school?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
never.
saying? Like this is crazy. Stop.
And you-
like
and you
where are
messing
you
them
trying to
up.
go? Because you're
Right.
still not gonna go anywhere.
No.
So just go somewhere, have a lot of fun,
Right,
and then to my
right.
point, be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was playing morning basketball one day at Westchester Gym, and there was a dude in there. He was 19, going on 20, talking about how he's still playing AAU basketball. I'm like, how you still playing AAU basketball?
That's how.
Bro? Like,
That is real though, Flip. That's what's going on. That's what turns me off so much about it so much. It's like, yo, just come to terms like who you are. And that's ultimately what I'm saying with everything to you guys.
Yes,
like
that's what it's about.
In life, like just be happy with who you are, not who you're trying to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I might train people, I might do all this different things with different people, but ultimately, like, especially as a father, I'm like, are you happy? Like, are you legitimately happy,
that's the bottom
man?
line.
Like, because you're going to chase something forever that's ultimately not going to get you just be happy. And by the way, every single athlete's career ends. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's 1 year at college, whether it's 5 years in the pro, whether it's 20 years in the pro.
It does come to an
So
end.
at the end, you good? Like, are you happy?
right.
You know what I'm saying? So what's that mean? Does that mean just because you made $1 billion, now you're happy? Because by the way, I know guys who made a lot of money who still aren't really
Or
happy.
not happy, on antidepressants.
Right.
Like these,
So,
Et cetera, et cetera.
like, let's just be real, have fun, like, work your butt off because it will teach you good lessons, no
it.
doubt. But be realistic. That's all.
So you're super successful now. Because before we get out of here, I want to talk about how that's not an overnight thing, right? So like obviously you went through some trials and some tribulations. Can you talk a little bit about, perseverance and how you had to overcome certain obstacles to get to where you are right now?
For sure. And by the way, I appreciate you saying I'm super successful. I don't see it that way, but it's again, as long as I'm doing well and my family's good, then I guess you can call that super
You're
successful.
humble. You're a
so
humble
I appreciate
dude, man.
That's all it's about.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, listen, through anything you're going to go through, it's not going to be a straight line.
Right.
It's everything. That's just the tale is all this time, right? Like it's going to be ups and downs, and how you get through it is really defines your character. Like, right? So with the business specifically, I went through a partner change at one point. It was right around the COVID era. Prior to COVID, the partnership was sour. The staffing was all over the place. The vision was totally clouded. I had the vision which I'm executing now, and the vision from other people was just trying to like maybe become more of an influencer and famous and all these different things. And I was like, yo, this is not authentic. This isn't like real stuff we're putting out, So getting through that breakup and ultimately finding my partner now, who happened to be my client at the time, who saw maybe my strengths and maybe my vision, was like, you know what, I will invest in this, and we are going to take this. And she's an animal in terms of business, so she knows like, I'm going to put it in your hands, I'm going to back you up and kind of stay out the way type of situation because you have the vision. But that transition was, without getting too deep into it, was loss of sleep. Okay, this is your baby, this is something you built, and it's like a second away from going. So like, which is like, but it's also a second away from blowing up.
Yeah,
So it can go either way.
Either
You know
way.
what I'm saying? But then you got 2 kids and a wife at home, and you're like, man, this is like, I'm a teacher. I'm a public school
That's
teacher in
my
the
bread and
Bronx.
butter. Yeah.
But like, this is how I like that. How I really support. Like
I
that's
can-
there, but
right.
this is like how we live the way we live type of stuff.
That's how I could do everything. Right?
So, if that's gone, how am I going to like rebuild this thing? And again, I was fortunate enough to have people believe in me, specifically my partner, and took that over. But that was tough. So you had to just, how do you get through it? I mean, you just keep believing, and it's like, again, it sounds cliche or tales all the time, but you keep believing in what what you can do and know what you want to do. And if you stop before that last crossroads, then you're done. You know what I'm saying? Or you just take that extra chance on yourself, like anything else, right? Like you guys did with this podcast. You take a chance on yourself, it's gonna work.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna work for sure.
Talk about it all the time, right?
do.
Like we take a chance. People, we just had one of our prior episodes about naysayers and people that it's not like real hate, but it's like people that are always in your ear. You can't do this, you can't do that, and it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's like, it's gonna, because we can, and it's gonna work. We're gonna put the work in, and that's it. And like you're a true testament to that, man.
Appreciate that.
Want to add anything else?
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for sharing that wisdom.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We usually do a gym of the week, right? Like telling the listeners,
Like
the
Zumba,
watchers,
how I was in Zumba, breaking
how
it
he
down.
was like lowering the shoulders,
There you go, there you go.
right? What would you say? Because like I said, you're a hard worker. You put yourself from childhood in uncomfortable situations to make you stronger. So what can we got a lot of different things we could have walk
As
away
far as
with
this
here.
gym, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's give him the first choice to see if he can come up with one.
So when you say the gym of the week,
Like what would you tell someone like they should go out and like take a risk on something?
Our millions of listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
There's going to be a million listeners and viewers to this because you got to listen. By the way, you guys are authentic and you're giving people opportunity to tell real stories. And I think ultimately, when anyone turns on any podcast, they want to just hear real stories.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's what I listen to, the real stuff.
Yeah.
So again, I appreciate you guys letting me tell my real story. But what would I have the gym of the week be? Man, it's tough. I mean, I guess try something different, like get out of your comfort zone. I don't know if there's anything specific, but I think life is about, like, most growth takes place when you take a little bit of calculated risk. And I say calculated risk.
Hold time out.
Yeah.
Did I not say that a few episodes ago?
There you go.
100%.
Like mine. That's why I'm here. But I mean, calculated risk. I mean, people gamble, and that's bad.
That's
I
right.
think,
That's
you know what I'm
different,
saying?
right.
Like, I could do this, and they have no, there's no plan, there's no research, there's no thought process, no expertise that was put behind it. But if you take some calculated risks on a passion, it's, then like just like you're doing, and I think that's something that more people should try, because I think too many people live in like a safe box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, try something different. Just try to know who you are a little bit more, man. Like, try to get to know yourself a little bit more, as opposed to what you just always kind of been doing. You want to, you like to draw when you're little? Go take a drawing class. If you like to, shoot. Like, I literally might, I joke with my kids, they won't let me do it, but I'm like, I'm taking an acting class. And they're like, no, you're not, Dad, you're not. I'm like, why not? I can do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's something, shoot, they would let me do it.
Why
Maybe
not,
I'll do it.
right?
Right, why not? So
Well, now you got to try it because you just,
put it on.
You coined it as the gym of the week. So
I'm in a public speaking class, by the way.
there you go.
There
That's
you
great.
are.
That's
and he's
terrific.
getting better and better.
There you go. Little
right.
by little, man.
My
We'll
man-
come back in a few more episodes, revisit this, and you'll be killing
man,
it.
because remember, Boo don't talk, but Boo's talking. Right?
Man.
That's what I'm
By the
talking
way,
about.
don't listen to anybody else, please.
Right,
Ever.
right,
Stop.
Ever.
Like, those people don't exist. Like, come on, man. That's such noise, Actually, I got a good story about that. I'm going to leave you with this. My client, Hoda, my good friend Hoda, said to me, you could, when you have a million people cheering for you, and then you got the person up in the cheap seats saying some BS, right? Just let them be in the cheap seats. You can't hear them. Right. So the cheap seats, they're done. That's out there. That's always going to be there. Mm-hmm. But you got to listen to the 90% that's in front of you that's rooting you on.
I like that.
No, I like that a lot. So that's gonna do it for episode 8. Give it up for my man Brian
Appreciate y'all,
Harrington,
man.
This was fantastic. As first guests go, this was incredible. Incredible wisdom, and we could have stayed here talking because, like I said, there's things that we didn't even tap into, so we might have to have him back
I would
on.
say,
here.
I would say bring him back.
Yeah, we might have to bring him back. But that's it. Episode 8, Every Day I Better You. Remember, make sure you check us out on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Please like and subscribe.
Don't we have TikTok too?
We got TikTok, we got Instagram, we're everywhere. I'll put it all out there on social media.
Me too. I'm a social media guy now too. Getting better. Getting better.
Yo, this guy.
We got you now.
I got you now.
Hey.
Remember, man, every day better you. Real stories.
Real results.
Make it a great one. We out.